you're starting to feel a little bit of pain in your elbow. Maybe it's on the top of the elbow, maybe it's underneath. But hey, you're pretty tough. You're going to play through it. That might not be the best course of action, especially if it's a case of tendonitis starting. I've got a couple tips for you today on how to avoid that so that you can stay healthy and be out on the courts longer. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's CJ Johnson. If you're brand new to this channel, welcome. You're gonna find all things pickleball here, from paddles and equipment to skills and drills to tips on staying fit and healthy so you can spend more time on the courts. If you haven't already done so, if you wouldn't mind, hit the subscribe button over here and then the little bell notification. That way you'll know anytime that I post a new video. It also tells YouTube that this content is important, and it makes it easier for other people who are pickleball players to find this channel too. I was a golf professional for well over 25 years when I started playing pickleball. I never had a case of golfer's elbow. All the tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of balls that I hit, never had that injury until I started playing pickleball. And wow, talk about the pain. That's what we're going to talk about today, is how to avoid tendonitis. So what exactly is golfer's or tennis elbow? Well, tennis elbow tends to be on the top of the arm and golfer's elbow tends to be on the bottom. It's an inflammation of the tendons around the joint. It can be extremely painful. In fact, I was talking to somebody today, and just when she was walking and hiking, swinging her arms was uncomfortable for her. And needless to say, that has definitely kept her off the pickleball court. Here are some of the things that we can do to keep golfer or tennis elbow at bay. Number one, take a look at your equipment. Now, paddles range in weight from somewhere around 5.5 ounces up to a very heavy weight of 9. I know that a few ounces doesn't sound like a lot, but if you multiply that out over a few hours on the pickleball court, a couple of days a week, that can really add up to a lot of strain on the muscles and the tendons in the forearm. So it's important to have an appropriately weighted paddle for you. Now, I tend to prefer a paddle that's right around 7.7 ounces. That seems to be something that's extremely comfortable for me. You might have to try them out just a little bit, play with them over a period of time, and see what's best for you. But if you're starting to get some strain on your arm, you might want to consider the weight of the paddle. The next thing that you want to look at in your equipment is the size of your grip. Now, paddles come with small, medium, and large grips. And certainly by using overwraps and changing the grip tape, you can change the width of your paddle. If you have a grip that's too small or a grip that's too large and you have to hold on to it tighter, that's going to cause a lot of tension in that forearm and put a lot of strain on those tendons. Now you might be saying, CJ, how do I know if it's the right grip size for me? Well, you can certainly ask somebody at your pickleball courts or one of your tennis professionals for some help. They'd be able to give you some suggestions. But here's kind of a general rule of thumb. If you're using a continental grip, which places the V on this side of the paddle, on that upper bevel of the paddle, an appropriately sized grip, you're going to be able to place about one finger in between your fingers and your thumb. Speaking of grips, one of the things that you want to watch is your grip pressure. Most of us have way too much tension in our grip. That puts a lot of tension up into the forearms, makes it difficult to hit shots, but it also puts a lot of stress on those tendons. One of the things that I like to do between points is I take my paddle hand off, I put my paddle in the other hand, and I just kind of shake out my arm. The third thing to look at is the type of paddle that you're using. As an example, this is a blade. I have to tell you, I loved playing with the blade for 2 days. And then what I found is anytime I caught a ball off the sweet spot out here towards the end of the paddle, I felt a lot of twist in my arm. Since I was already having some discomfort and pain in that arm, I knew that it was going to cause me more problems over the long run. So I stopped using the blade paddle and went back to a traditional paddle. Take that into consideration when you're choosing your paddle. The second thing you want to look at are your mechanics. If you're executing some shots and you're using a very unorthodox position, maybe you're turning, hitting a very spinning serve and turning the arm and the elbow in a very strange way, chances are you're putting some stress and strain on the muscles and the tendons, and that could be inflaming that area. My best advice is get a lesson from one of your local pickleball professionals and make sure that you're executing your shots correctly and not adding any additional stress to what you're already doing. The third thing is, what are you doing before you play pickleball? Are you warming up? If you're not already warming up or you don't know why you should warm up, make sure you click on the video that's coming up above. I've got several videos that tell you why it's important and exactly what you should be doing. When a lot of us finish playing pickleball, we are off to have some dinner or maybe some drinks with our friends that we just played with. That's part of the fun of playing the game. But if you spend just a few minutes afterwards taking care of that sore forearm, it may not develop into tendonitis. This week, I'm going to send you links to 2 different videos, one for golfer's elbow and the other one for tennis elbow, with the top things that you can do to alleviate your pain. If you're not already part of our Better Pickleball community, it's completely free and you can check out all the details in the show notes down below. In the meantime, I'm going to share with you some of the things that I like to do once I get off the pickleball court that help me to feel better. The first thing that I do when I get home is I grab a bag of peas, a bag of frozen peas. It's very easy to ice that arm with this bag of peas. They're extremely flexible and it can be used time and time again. The next thing I do is a little bit of self-massage. I love trigger point therapy. This is the therapy ball, and then this is called the footballer. I put this on a flat surface, and then I simply roll my forearm against it, and it takes out some of those knots and that tension that I developed while I was playing. Another one of my favorites is a nice bath, and in that bath I use some essential oils and some Epsom salts. I take about a cup of Epsom salt and I mix into it about 2 or 3 drops of this particular blend is called Move. It's a combination of wintergreen and juniper essential oils, and it's designed to help our muscles feel better, to reduce some of that swelling, and to take away some of the stress and the strain that we've put on the muscles all day. The other way that I use the essential oil is I mix it with some coconut oil, which is a carrier oil, and I put it in a small roller ball, and before or after play, I can rub it directly onto my skin, providing immediate relief. Another one of my favorite homeopathic remedies is arnica gel, and you'll find this in most health food stores. You might even find this at your local grocery store. It's become so popular. But arnica as a plant, and this gel is designed to help to alleviate swelling and bruising and just in general make those muscles feel better. You can put this on before or after you play, but usually I put this on right before I go to bed. Know this, that by taking care of this before you get it, it's way easier than treating it. In fact, tendonitis usually takes a very long time for it to go away. You may end up seeing the doctor multiple times, having to take a lot of time off pickleball, perhaps a regimen of anti-inflammatories, a variety of different things. So by spending a little time in the beginning, making sure that your equipment is correct, that you're doing some stretching, that you're rolling, doing some self-release, maybe a little icing, you might just be able to stay healthy and stay out on the pickleball courts. If you've had a case of golfer or tennis elbow, put down in the comments below what you did to get rid of it. We can all learn from each other. If you got value from this video, if you wouldn't mind giving it a little thumbs up and sharing it with your pickleball playing friends, because together we can train smart, live bold, and age well.